Today's live coaching session on maximizing revenue through key performance indicators, or those things we call KPIs. Today, we're not just talking numbers, we're talking about the transformative power of data-driven decision-making in your practice. So imagine this. You have a clear understanding of every aspect of your med spa's performance. You know exactly how much revenue each treatment generates, which retail products are flying off the shelves, and how efficiently your providers are utilizing their time. So armed with this knowledge, you can make informed decisions to drive growth, enhance your profitability, and educate patient experience to new heights. Okay, so that's the promise of accurately tracking critical metrics in your med spa. So when you harness the power of your KPIs, you can do these 5 things. Number 1, you're going to maximize revenue. You're going to identify lucrative opportunities and optimize pricing strategies that's going to allow you to efficiently and effectively maximize your revenue potential. So if you do this, if you're tracking your metrics, you're going to be able to efficiently understand your pricing. Do you need to shift pricing? Do you need to look at your treatments and what's the profitability of each one? If you're not tracking your metrics, you can't do that. And we see that daily with our clients. Can you take a look at this pricing? Can you look and see if we're in the right ballpark? You have to first understand your numbers. Secondly, you're going to enhance your patient experience. We want to tailor your services and your offerings based on your clients' preferences, their feedback, and purchasing behavior. This is going to help us personalize memorable experiences for every visitor. So you have to know what drives revenue. What are some of your top performing services? What is driving your retail? What are your top performing retail products that you're adding on? How can we incorporate those together to drive that revenue? That's also going to help us in our marketing efforts. Thirdly, we want to improve operation efficiency. We want to streamline workflows, eliminate bottlenecks, and minimize downtime by identifying areas of improvement and implementing data-driven solutions. So looking at your team's utilization rate, what can we be doing in that downtime? Are their hours efficient? What does that look like? In our patient journey, are we upselling? Are we referring to other departments? These numbers will tell us that and make us more efficient. Knowing your numbers can also empower your team. We want to provide your team with clear goals, performance benchmarks, and actionable insights to drive accountability, motivation, and that professional development we need. So here at Diamond Accelerator in our program, we've created 90 Days to Goal. And this is a platform you can use to give your team members those goals so that they can achieve the results that you want for them, also increasing the revenue and growth of the med spa. Also, we're going to differentiate your practice. You're going to stand out in the competitive market by delivering excellent results and building trust and credibility. And that's going to foster those long-term relationships with your clients and your providers that you want, right? So are we able to invest in more equipment, in the newest treatments for our clients so that we get them the results they desire? And are we training our team? Do we have the ability to send them to that training or to educate them in where we need them to go? How do you know? Or do you just guess? Knowing your KPIs is going to give you a clear direction. So by the end of this session, you'll not only understand the significance of those KPIs, but also hopefully equip you with actionable insights to help you implement in your practice. This is going to help propel you towards sustainable growth and success. So let's dive in. First, we have to understand what is a KPI. So defining what exactly KPIs are and why they are indispensable in your med spa. It is a key performance indicator, and it is a measurable value that's going to demonstrate how effectively a business is achieving its key objectives. So whether it's revenue growth, customer satisfaction, operational efficiency, this is going to provide a clear picture of your spa's performance. All right, they are essential in the landscape of med spa industry today. So if you're relying solely on intuition or guesswork, that's no longer sufficient. It's not going to work for you. So we work with med spas all the time, and I will onboard a med spa and I'll ask, what is your monthly revenue? What is your retail revenue? What is your lead injectors revenue per hour? Some of them know right away. And I'm like, this is going to be easy, right? I know exactly where we need to go. And some of them, they don't know where it is, but they know where to they don't know what it is, but they know where to find it. And then I have some that are like, I have no idea. And until you can really set a vision or know where you're going to go, you have to know your numbers. Your numbers will tell you exactly the pathway you need to take to achieve where you want to go. And a lot of times, once we dive in and we break down their numbers, we realize that maybe their break-even number is a little bit higher than we thought. And so we're not as close to our goals as we want to be. Or I've heard this, I have a rock star performer, Abby, she's amazing. I don't want to lose her. And then we get into the numbers and I'm like, I don't know about that. Her revenue per hour is pretty low. Her rebooking rate is like 30%. Her utilization is only 40. I'm thinking maybe we need to look at what we can do to get her to be a rock star, and maybe she can be, but maybe she's not right now. So tracking KPIs is going to remove that subjectivity in your decision making, and you're going to be able to base your decisions and your actions on concrete data, right? We need to shift our thinking from reactive to proactive. And this is going to allow us to identify trends, anticipate challenges, and capitalize on those opportunities swiftly. So if you know your numbers, but you're just maintaining them every month, then you're not being adaptable. Because what about PTO? What about when your lead injector takes off 2 weeks? Right? What happens when your front desk is going to be gone and you're having to fill in, or maybe you're doing educational training for a lot of the month? Those things factor in to your monthly goals, right? And you have to be adaptable. And then as your manager, as your department lead gets in there and works with your team members to say, this month, I really have to have you step up. So here's what we can do to make sure that we're always hitting our goals and continuing to move forward. We will always miss these opportunities every time when we don't know our numbers. So when you look at other med spas and you say, well, why can't I do that? Why can't I have what they have? Understand that this did not happen overnight. We all start in the same place. So you have to think big picture. And it starts with knowing exactly where you are and where you want to go. So the KPIs are going to serve as your compass for your team, for your spa, that's going to align their efforts with your organizational goals. So by setting clear expectations and then holding them accountable, you're going to be able to foster a culture of excellence and continuous improvement. So with 90 days to goal, setting those small increments, right? Looking at realistic, achievable goals for your team, and then giving little bits of improvements, encouragement, following through with action items. This is going to be a way that we're going to get our team involved, but you've got to know what the numbers are. So when we talk to our med spas and we implement this, we've seen significant growth. And it's not always just in revenue, right? Sometimes it's in your provider time, right? It's in your owner time. It's in your retail sales. But we've seen it med spas have the best month they've ever had, right? Just by literally setting goals and establishing them. We've seen providers double their commission in 1 month. We've seen them triple and quadruple retail sales by just saying, this is what I would like for you to do daily, weekly, and monthly. Setting clear objectives is going to help you reach that goal. So we have to understand that when you're developing comprehensive treatment or comprehensive compensation plans, it's also crucial to explore the KPIs. You have to understand what you can do. It's not merely just about rewarding employees for their efforts, but also aligning their incentives and goals with your practice. So we have to create a win-win scenario, right? You have to first understand the economics of your practice in order to reward them. So by analyzing these revenue streams, your cost structures, your profit margins, we're going to be able to accurately determine the true value generated by each treatment, each piece of equipment, each team member. So once we clearly understand this and these financial dynamics, we can design compensation plans that not only motivate and reward your team's performance, but it's also going to be bonuses that are tied to revenue targets, commission structures, right? Incentives for high patient satisfaction scores. These are all going to be at stake in your success for your practice. We have to make, though, you have to make goals realistic and achievable. And you can only do that by looking at real data, right? You have to have employee buy-in. They have to buy what you're selling. They have to get on board in order to help us reach our goals. So there's a few things. If you're not tracking these metrics, there's a few things you can do and a few ones that you should key metrics that you should start with. So let's delve into these. And these are things that you should be doing daily. Okay. First is your total revenue. This is going to provide you with comprehensive snapshot of your medical spa's financial performance, period. This is a key indicator for evaluating success, tracking trends, guiding resource allocation. When you want to buy equipment, right, that salesperson is trying to sell you, you're going to know exactly whether you're able to do it, right? Setting goals for your team and ensure financial stability. You should be doing this daily. Your total service revenue. This is going to be just your treatments that you're performing. This is going to represent total revenue generated from service provided, treatments, procedures, and consultations. This is a primary indicator of your practice's financial performance because this is the big one, right? And not only that, you should be looking at this for each provider. What services? What is their service revenue? What is their revenue per hour based on that, right? So once you know your service revenue, you can move forward to your next metrics. Your total retail or sales revenue. These are tangible items, I like to call them, in your spa. This is going to be generated from your skincare products, cosmetic, and other items that you sell in your spa. So we want to track these metrics so you can assess the effectiveness of your retail strategy, right? This is going to identify opportunities for growth. And I have to tell you that of all the spas that I'm working with, this is the biggest opportunity for growth. This comes from educating your team members to educate your clients in your consultations and your comprehensive treatment plans. But you need to be educating your team on your retail products, your tangible items, to be adding those on to what your client needs to get the results they desire, right? So educating your team is super important in this one. And that's what this metric is going to tell you if you're doing a good job at that. The next one that you should be tracking daily is your retail to service revenue. This is how much retail you're selling based on the service that you're doing as a spa. So me personally, I like that 10% number. That is a nice firm number that you can aim for as your team if you're not already there. This is going to be the retail revenue compared to service revenue. And this ratio is really going to help you understand your rock star providers, right? So if you have a rock star provider, they're doing 15 to 25% in retail revenue. If they're doing 25, they're beautiful. They're amazing. I want to take training from them. But we want to aim for 10%. And most of the time when I first dive into KPIs, what I really see is anywhere between that 1 to 5% number. And if you're truly looking at 10% to 20% of your revenue in your spa, of your retail revenue, that is a lot of untapped revenue that you're leaving on the table because they're getting those products from somewhere. So now those are the ones that you should be tracking daily. And a lot of you may have services or you may hire out your KPIs to, different platforms or to individuals. What I want you to understand is you need to be doing these daily in your spa. This is something that we help our clients understand. We optimize their EMR. We help create manual processes so that they're able to do it daily and have accurate numbers. Yes, it's great. And I love it when they come to me and they say, yeah, we have somebody do that for us. They give them to us at the end of every month. I'm like, great, send me last month's. Now I want to show you how to do it daily so that you're letting your team know they're informed of where they are, where they need to be. And you as the performance manager, owner, are able to hold them accountable and keep them on track. Also, it helps us to shift if we need to and be adaptable mid-month without having to wait till the end of the month. So making sure that you're tracking those things and looking especially at those last 4. Now, here are some that you can add on, and these are really important. Revenue per hour. This is really crucial. This is going to be your total revenue divided by the total hours available for your providers. This is going to help optimize our resource, our equipment, and maximize that revenue generating opportunities that we're looking for. So you hear it a lot, and I get asked it a lot. What should my esthetician's revenue per hour be? What should my injector's revenue? What should our revenue per hour be? So there's some standards, but you have to truly look at, are you offering them the ability to provide to higher ticket items, right? As a medical esthetician, there's some basics, but if they're not able to fire lasers, they're not able to do those higher ticket items, they're going to be lower. So in medical aesthetics, you're looking at, you want, 450, 500, yes. When you're looking at injectors, you want $1,000 an hour, 750 to 1,000, that aim for that. If you're looking at wellness, it's higher. But that's just, it's all standard. It's looking at what you can generate. So we're going to delve into your numbers, break them down, and then we're going to keep them realistic and achieve that goal. But not only that, we're going to surpass it. Revenue per patient. That's going to be the total revenue divided by number of patients served during a specific time. This gives you insight into patient loyalty, spending patterns, and lifetime value. But it also tells me a lot about your provider. Each patient, looking at their revenue, I can tell, are they doing one-offs? Are they like just bringing the client in and sticking 40 units of tox in them and saying, see you in 3 months? Are we truly doing what's best for our client, getting them on their medical grade skincare that's going to give them lasting results, selling them the package, because we know that truly the results they desire aren't going to be in that one and done. This really tells me where we need to go with your team members and where we need to train and what we need to do specifically to help them increase that so that the spa itself is reaching its goal. Our rebooking rate, this is really important. This is the percentage of clients or patients that schedule their next appointment before leaving the spa. So a high rebooking rate is indicative of a patient satisfaction and loyalty. And this should be tracked by providers as well. This tells you who's giving that service experience, which we start in the beginning of every new client. We talk about what kind of service experience they want their clients to have. And this tells me which providers need to work on that or be educated in order to really get that rebooking rate high. It also tells me that we might need to put some processes and systems in place in order to make this easier so that there's several touch points before that client leaves to make sure this happens. Membership conversion rate. This is a percentage of patients who enroll in your membership programs. So we want to look at that monthly, right? Not only our membership drives and all of that, but we want to look at daily, like how many members are we generating for every appointment? Are we really talking about it? What memberships are performing better than others? It may mean that we need to shift. It may mean that we need to be adaptable, or it may just mean that we need more training on those memberships so that our providers are accurately educating our clients on why they could benefit them. Our package conversion rate. This is something that I have very few spas that we're doing. And it's something that needs to be done every month. We need to be looking at it. It may even be a metric. This is for one of my favorite med spas that you should track and add into your incentives and commissions, right? Are your team members selling those packages and bundles, right? This is going to incentivize your patients to commit to multiple treatments up front, obviously leading to higher revenue. But it's also going to give them the results they need. You are doing a disservice to your clients if you are one-offing your clients on these treatments, and then now word of mouth, they're walking around and you're not getting that high review that you want because it's not enough. So we need to make sure that our providers are informed, educating our clients on the need, and making these packages exciting for our client to purchase. Utilization rate. This is the percentage of total available hours that your provider is utilized. We want to make sure that our schedules are optimized. So we want to minimize that downtime. I get this question all the time. How can we enhance their productivity and profitability? So we need to know what that is. And this also tells us when we need to rehire, like when it's time to start hunting for new providers, right? Our utilization rate. So if your provider's utilization rate is low, we need to take a look how we can educate, how we can get them on social media. What are they doing? What are some things that we can do to help them increase that? But once it reaches a certain rate, now it's time to hire, but maybe it's also time to pull back that provider's hours to optimize their time. Number of reviews. If you're not asking for Google reviews in the room, you need to be. Your provider should be asking these questions. They should be asking for a review for glowing, happy clients. Okay, so these are reviews received from Google, Yelp, RealSelf. Positive reviews are going to boost your reputation, attract new patients, and drive revenue growth for sure. You should also be tracking new patients. This is going to give you an opportunity to expand your client base. We need to know. How many new patients did we attract this month? Do we need to increase this? Do we need to make this a focus this month? Is this our goal for the month? So by acquiring new patient, it allows us to introduce our services to a broader audience. And this is going to also help us to be competitive in sustaining growth and success in this industry. So once you know your numbers, you're going to be able to leverage them strategically and drive that revenue in several ways. So let's recap this. We're going to be able to identify opportunities for growth. This is going to be, remember, analyzing your financial metrics, revenue per service, revenue per patient, revenue per source, equipment, high profitability of services, underperforming areas, untapped opportunities. So focus on optimizing your offerings and generate the most revenue. And this is going to help you, knowing these numbers, explore profitability and your potential growth. This is my favorite. This is going to really help us to target those marketing campaigns. We've got to make sure that we're utilizing our patient demographics, our patient behavior, our revenue trends to develop these targeted marketing campaigns. We're going to do that for you here. Where do you need to be utilized more? Where can we drive that revenue? What is our best? What is our number one? What is our best offer to get our clients in to really give them what they need and what they desire? We're going to tailor those messages and promotions to resonate against specific patient segments. So our high value clients, what are they most interested in? What are our particular treatments or services that are best performing? We're going to focus on these marketing efforts so that we can really profit the most by attracting new patients and encouraging existing ones to spend more. Okay, we're also going to enhance that patient experience. Remember, use that data to personalize it. This is really going to be for you providers watching. All right, you need to make sure that you're personalizing that patient experience to drive repeat business. Do you know them? Do you know really what their goals are? Are you keeping them on track? Do you know what products you offered them at their last appointment? Are you looking at their patient feedback? Are they leaving you reviews? What is their purchase history? We need to make sure that we're creating memorable, personalized experiences. So deliver that, and then you're going to foster that loyalty, increase that patient satisfaction. You're going to get more referrals, and you're ultimately going to drive that revenue through the roof with repeat visit and that word of mouth marketing. This last point is going to streamline operations. We've already talked about the inefficiencies and bottlenecks that you get within your consultation process, your patient journey. What are your structures for checking out a client, right? By looking at these numbers, it really helps us identify where are those leaky holes so that we can implement and create improvements. Maybe it's technology solutions for those before and afters. Maybe it's workflow optimizations, streamlining operations, reducing cost, or increasing productivity or utilization. We want to maximize the efforts so that we're able to improve delivery and ultimately drive revenue growth. So overall, leveraging your numbers is going to effectively allow you to make data-driven decisions. No guesswork here. We know what we know where we're going, and we have a pathway to do it. This is going to help us to optimize performance, capitalize on opportunities, and drive that revenue through the roof. And that's going to sustain our growth in our med spa. So understand your metrics. What are they? Know your numbers of those metrics, and then use those numbers to drive revenue with your clients and your providers. So if you comment numbers, we can send you our KPI resource so that it will have a list of all of these metrics and what they are, how to calculate them. And then we can help you customize those as well and your goals to help you track those monthly here. So remember that KPIs are not numbers on a dashboard, right? They're strategic tools to drive performance, guide decision-making, and fuel growth. By embracing the data-driven mindset and leveraging the right metrics, you can unlock full potential of your medical spa and achieve sustainable success. So thank you for participating in today's session. I encourage you, if you don't know if your EMR is optimized, if you don't know how to run those reports, get into your EMR and start delving into how you can start generating these numbers. And this is going to help you elevate the standard of care and redefine excellence in this industry. So if you love this training, make sure you share with your team and other med spas that can benefit. You can catch the replay on our YouTube channel. Remember to comment numbers, and we'll send you instructions on how to do everything that we talked about today. To get access to more free training to help you grow your med spa, visit our link tree in our social bio, and be sure to join us live every Wednesday at 2:30 Central Time, same place. Find us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Bye, guys.